Hi, my name is Travis McLatch, Advanced Solutions in Technology, and today I'm going to show you how to adjust your battery so that you get a little bit of life out of it on your laptop. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is going to go down here by your clock, and you're going to be looking for an icon with that's going to look like a battery, or in this case, battery with a plug-in on it. You might have to click on this little triangle to bring it up if it's not down here already. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just left click on it, and you're going to have a couple options here. You can either have power source optimized, which is Microsoft's setting. Basically it gives your laptop, when it's on being plugged in, it's going to have a little more speed because you don't have to worry about battery life. Or you can put it on power saver, and what that's going to do is it's going to sacrifice speed a little bit, but then you're going to have a little longer battery life. So you basically just put whatever you want it on, and there you go. But let's say that you want to adjust that a little bit. So what you want to do is you're going to want to click on that again, and you're going to want to go to more power options. And that's going to bring up this screen here. And let me get rid of this. Alright, this screen is going to have a little bit more in-depth settings. What you can do is you can choose when you display on and off. You have setting for both on and plug. And as you see here, when I have my top plugged in, I never display, I never turn off the display, and I never put it to sleep. I also have it set at the brightest setting. Now on battery, that's a different story. You want to dim the display as soon as possible, because the display, the backlight, it draws a lot of power. You can change that anywhere from never, which I don't suggest if you're running a battery, to 1 minute, which I have it set on. If I were to unplug my laptop after a minute, the screen's going to dim. You can still see pretty decent, but it just saves a little bit of power. And then you start using it, and it's going to go back up to your regular setting, which is all the way for me. Okay, you can also decide when you off the display. This completely turns off the display, not only but quit sending power to it. Um, this is going to save you some life. And then you can also decide when to get the computer to sleep. I have it set for 10 minutes. Go anywhere from 1 minute up to never. 10 minutes I think is pretty good. If you walk away from your computer, like if you're, let's say, in a recipe, and you get to stirring and mixing, after 10 minutes, you're probably going to come back to your computer within 10 minutes. If you don't, it's probably a good idea to shut it down so you have a little better battery life. So after you set everything here, hit save changes, and your change is saved. Now let's say you want to get in a little bit deeper yet. Over here we have the two that come up when you just click on your battery icon, your two plans here, power source optimized to power saver. So let's say we want to adjust our power saver. You click it here. Hit it with this little radio button, and then you're going to want to click on change plan settings. Okay, same thing we had before. Now we're going to want to go to change advanced power settings. This is where we really get it deep. These are all the deeper settings we can adjust here. If you look over here, you can see your power saver, require password on wake. I have mine set for password on both of them. That's because I have my laptop with my kids and stuff hanging around, and I don't want them to get into here and mess stuff up. This is basically your choice. If you want a secure top, you're going to want to have a password on wake up and log on. Um, if you don't want the password, you can change that to no. As you can see here, I have it locked actually farther in on the operating system so that you can't change that. I actually log in with my fingerprint, so that software's taking over there. There's also other settings in here. Your hard disk, you can decide when to turn it off. On mine, it's set for every after 5 minutes on battery, and then plugged into 20 minutes. Internet Explorer, you're going to have some Java settings here. Maximum power savings, and this is the maximum power saving setting, so you see both of these are set to maximum power savings. I just want to add here, some of these settings might be in here depending on your laptop hardware. If you don't have the newest Internet Explorer, this might not be here. And some of the other settings, most of them should be here, but some of them might be different, like I said, depending on your laptop hardware. Desktop background settings. Your slideshow, when you're on battery, you're going to want to pause that because running that slideshow in the background is going to take some battery power to do that. So you're going to want to pause that, and when you're plugged in, that'll be available. So like if you have your pictures as running as a slideshow in the background, that'll shut that when you're on battery. If you want it on, you can turn it on. It's just going to suck a little more juice. And then your wireless adapter settings, once again, power saving mode, everything's set to power saving. If you want to change that, you just click on the word there, and then you have your choice. Maximum performance, low power saving, medium, maximum power saving. And then you have your sleep. This will tell you when your computer is going to go to sleep. What sleep is basically takes everything that's running the computer right now, and it puts it into your RAM of your computer. Your RAM is going to take just a little bit of power, and then everything else is going to shut off your CPU, your fans, and what that does is it lets your laptop last a lot longer. Also have your USB settings, USB selective suspend. What that does is, if you have USB devices that can go to sleep, that'll let them go to sleep. Power button, lid options. Choose what to do when you do certain things. Like when I close my lid, it doesn't do anything. My screen will shut off, but that's about it. Power button action. When you hit your power button on your laptop, and this decides what it does. On battery, it sleeps, and when it's plugged in, it also sleeps. You can change that to do nothing or shut down. I prefer to have mine go to sleep when I hit the power button. And then the sleep button action, once again, you can decide what you want that to do. Then we have the PCI Express. What that does is it will turn off PCI Express connected items in your computer. That's mainly for like PCI Express cards that you can put into a card slot if you have one on your laptop. And once again, they're both set to maximum power saving because this is a maximum power saving. But you can also turn it to off or moderate power savings, depending on your likes. Processor power management. This is going to adjust how your CPU acts. As you can see here, max power savings on battery, it's only at 5%, and plugged in, it's only at 5%. If you're plugged in, you're going to want that a little bit higher. Well, a lot higher, actually. You're going to want it pretty close to 100%. Save that. And then, after you change it, here, all you have to do is click on something else and it'll save it 100%. System cooling policy. Since it's power saving, it's on passive. You're going to probably want to put that to on plugged in, active. So basically that has the fan running a little more often, which is good because it keeps your processor cooler. But of course, if you have your minimum processor state at 5%, it's not going to be running very hot anyway. So as you see here, on battery it's at 5%, and plugged in it's at 100%. I go to my system cooling, on battery it's passive because it's only running 5%, it's not going to run hot. When it's plugged in, I have it at 100%, so I want the fan on more often. And then here, maximum processor state, that's how fast it can run. Most modern, well, pretty much all modern CPUs have a throttling capability to save power, and this is the fastest it can go, and you're gonna want that going to 100% on both of them. So when you need the power, you need the power. Uh, so if you're doing, let's say, browsing, it's going to use, let's say, 100% as it's low, and then when it's just looking at a page, it's going to throttle back to your minimum processor state here. It's 5%. Um, so you're going to save a little power there. Your display, you can go into those same settings. When to dim your display, when to turn off your display, the brightness of your display, and then your dim display brightness. After your 1 minute, what it dims down to, when it's going to dim down to 30% brightness. Your multimedia settings. That is when you're sharing media, basically with Windows Media Center or Windows Media Player. It's going to decide what you're going to do, if you're going to allow the computer to sleep, or if you're going to want to prevent it from going to sleep, or allow the computer to enter away mode, which is basically, it's not sleeping, but it's not doing anything besides sharing media. And then you can also set what you're going to do when you're playing your video. On battery, it's going to optimize power savings, and when it's plugged in, it's going to be balanced. That means it's going to balance out your power saving and your speed. You can also set it to optimize video quality. You're going to have you use a lot more power, a lot more CPU, but your video is going to be streaming better or shared better. And your battery settings. This basically tells you what to do when your battery gets critically low, what's going to happen. On your battery, it's going to hibernate. It's going to take everything from, when you sleep, everything goes into your RAM. Everything on your screen, everything open gets dumped into your RAM, and your RAM takes a lot of power to stay awake. When you get to critical, there's not barely enough power to keep your RAM even powered. So hibernate will take everything in your RAM, dump it to your hard drive, and next time you push your power button, it'll get up everything from your hard drive, throw it back into RAM, and then throw it onto your screen for you. You can disable hibernate, so this might not be an option for you if hibernation is disabled within Windows. So, as you see here on battery, you can either sleep or shut down. Since then, I have my hibernation set off. And then on plugged in, on critical battery action, it's not going to do anything because it's plugged in. It doesn't need to. You can also set your low battery level. That's basically when it says, hey, your battery's low, plug me in. On battery, it's set at 10%. Also on plugged in, it's set at 10%. If you're plugged in and you're getting a low battery warning, that's basically usually after you just plug it in. If you still get it after you've been charging for a while, it might mean your battery is going dead. And unfortunately, that's the nature of batteries. After a while, they fail. They don't last forever. So if that happens, you might have to buy a new battery. Okay, and then your critical battery level is basically when you go up here, this critical battery action. That's when that takes place. And on this, it's set at 5% for both plugged in and battery. You can change that, whatever percentage you want. I'm going to leave mine at 5%. Your low battery notification, that's basically, hey, plug me in. You can turn that on or off. If you turn it off, your little icon here will flash it. You'll say, hey, I need to be plugged in. You're going to have to watch. There'll be a, I'll show you what I unplug it here. Your battery meter here, I'll say reading or remaining. You're going to want to keep your eye on that if you turn your critical battery notification off. So when that gets down to like 1 or 2%, if you don't have it set to go to sleep or hibernate, you're going to lose everything that you're working on. So, you're going to want to hover over it, and it'll show you what's remaining of your battery. Okay, I'm gonna plug back in here. Alright, and then your low battery action, what you want it to do when it gets to that low battery. I have mine set to do nothing. I do everything I want to do. You can also have it put to sleep or have it shut down. And then your reserve battery level, this will, reserve how much your battery is left before it shuts down. It wants to make sure that, if you want to put it into sleep, you have a little bit of battery left to actually put it to sleep. So you can change that to whatever you want. I basically just leave mine at the default. And then last here is my ATI graphics power settings. Now this might be the same, it might be different depending on your graphics chipset. I have ATI Fire GL. If you have Intel, they have, I believe, their own power settings, and if you have NVIDIA, they have their settings too. So this might be a little bit different here, but basically, you know, what you want to do with it, maximize your battery life on battery, and maximize your performance when it's plugged in. And that is how you adjust everything. After everything's all adjusted, you hit apply, that'll keep the window open, or you hit OK, that'll close the window, and everything's saved. Close that, and you have your settings set. Hopefully your battery will last a little bit longer for you. Once again, this is Travis from Advanced Solutions in Technology, and I hope your computing goes well for you. Have a great day.